I was recently in Malaysia talking South China Sea at a conference put on there in Kuala Lumpur and had a really interesting time. I decided to ask a single question to the Chinese diplomat several times. And the question was, Malaysia has 5 occupied features within the Spratly Island group. China has repeatedly said that it has indisputable sovereignty over the Spratly Islands and relevant waters, whatever that means. So my question was simply, does China have indisputable sovereignty over those 5 Malaysian occupied features? And I got humana. And so I said, I'm sorry, I didn't quite get an answer to my question. And I re-asked it a second time and even came back a third time. And you could tell by that point that the moderator was getting very uncomfortable because clearly the Chinese diplomat did not want to answer the question of, does China claim indisputable sovereignty over Malaysian occupied features? And the answer is, of course it does. And eventually China is going to act on that. And a lot of Malaysian foreign policy, is trying to keep this thing at a low level, and let's just not talk about it. My point was the bill is going to come due, right? Eventually, China will be done with whatever it's doing in the West Philippine Sea and will feel that it now has the capability and the mandate to go ahead and extend its control over the Luconia Shoals where the Malaysian features are. Later on, when I had my own panel that I was on, I was asked by a Chinese scholar, why can't the Philippines and the United States just negotiate with us? So the idea is, why do you have to do these provocative things like show pictures or say these things? And I said, tell me, where's the room for negotiation with indisputable sovereignty? That seems like it's pretty categorical, right? How do you negotiate with something that's indisputable? And so I was really trying to draw out the fact that China's rhetoric actually has become very, very hard with regard to the Spratly Islands and the South China Sea more broadly. When it sent a ship into the North Natuna Sea around the time of Prabowo's inauguration to harass some oil and gas activities there, it said that it had indisputable sovereignty over the Spratly Islands and relevant waters. So it was declaiming even indisputable sovereignty over there. And so I'm trying to just sort of get people in these places to realize that it is coming for them. And it's just a matter of time and Chinese capability and sort of moving on from the current problems to come to the next problem.
They know, but it's hard.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's the next president's problem.
That's the ideal.